Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to The Mixer, the segment on this channel where I give you guys all sorts of detailed analyses from all walks of life. I'll talk about people, places, animals, food, sports, traveling, the whole 9 yards. Hence why it's called The Mixer, because I like to mix things up in this huge playlist here with over 200 videos at this point. That is a lot of mixery. I've been doing some remakes lately, you know, like revisiting old videos and redoing them in the modern day setting, which is what's going to happen today, because it's going to be in that traveling look that I mentioned just now. I'm going to be talking about a place that I visited a long time ago and also simultaneously reviving this series here that used to be called That One Time I Went To Place, right? The random place that I visited. And now it's going to be about my trip to certain places. I don't know how I'm going to restructure these videos, but I think it would be fun to give you guys a bit more of a personal side here, you know, and also show you some photos of the time that I went there and stuff. So it's going to be cool. And today I'm going to be talking about that one time, or rather okay, let me have like a catchphrase here of sorts for these titles. I'm going to just talk about that one time that I visited New York City, right? And by proximity, you know, it's not exactly the right time period to talk about it because, well, we're just a day away from Halloween and I visited New York in Christmas time, so it's completely juxtaposed here in a very awkward and weird way, but still, I just want to talk about it because I would enjoy the opportunity of sharing that experience with you guys. Right now, I went to New York just once in 2004, back when I still lived in Florida. And the thing is that when you're a kid growing up in South Florida, you become very accustomed to the heat, you know, the very mild climate and the hot weather. You get used to going to the beaches to soak up the sun and this and that. So when you suddenly go to a place like New York where it snows, especially in wintertime in December, it is very, very shocking. It's a little bit of like my physical body went through culture shock, you know. It's a very different place, you know, than compared to Florida, but just the weather itself is the one very main takeaway that I still remember to this day, how freaking cold it was. And New York is the most populous city in America, you know. It has a population of, right now, as far as I know, exactly to the dot, 8,804,190 inhabitants. That is a lot of people per square inch, man, you know, and it's not a very big city, so it almost makes it kind of reminds you of India or China, you know, where there's a lot of people just bunched together in small spaces, you know. But it was a lot of fun. I went there with my parents, you know, of course I went with my folks because I was a kid, right, to visit my aunt, you know, my dad's cousin slash aunt, but I also called her aunt, whatever. She lived with her boyfriend, so she actually was in White Plains, New York, you know, kind of far away from the city of Manhattan, but we stayed there for a while, you know, for a few days to you know, take advantage of the Christmas time there, and it was really cool. The hustle and bustle of the city in December was really awesome, you know. I really do not remember any bad things about New York except for the weather, which I'll get to later. But before I, you know, get into more detail and talk more about the trips, you know, I'm gonna show you guys here the first series of photos from my time in the Big Apple. It is not fun for me revisiting my days as a kid wearing braces. I was very, very ugly at that time, as you probably saw already. I'm pretty sure I included a photo of myself there in the first batch. You know, I'm going to be prioritizing photos of the city and also of myself. I don't want to show photos of my folks or the people who are with us, you know, my aunt and her boyfriend and stuff, because, well, that's a breach of privacy and I don't want to get sued by my own family. I'm just kidding. I just don't want to. It's just private. I don't mind showing myself, but other people, nah, I'm okay. But anyway, so now what happened is that when we got there, it was very, very cozy because my aunt lived in a house that was very far away from town, so it just felt very rural and interior. It's almost like a nice little cozy cabin of sorts, you know, very nice. But right off the bat, one of the things that I had a lot of difficulty getting used to was the weather, because in New York when it's snowing you are constantly feeling cold wherever you go, especially when you're gonna take a shower. When you're getting naked to go into the hot shower, man, your entire body starts to feel the freezes, you know. Even when you're in the shower it feels cold. When you get out of the shower it feels cold. You're gonna go to bed, it feels cold. Everything is really complicated. If we had gone during the summer or spring, you know, it would have been different, but still, you know, Christmas time, getting into the city, we actually went to quite a few different tourist attractions, you know. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with dinosaurs, so of course we went to the National or the Natural History Museum, one of those two. We did go there. My mom took a bunch of photos of me with the fossils. I thought it was really cool, man. It was like a highlight of my childhood, going to a museum for the first time to see dinosaur fossils, because I was in love with them. Pretty much anything related to prehistory I was obsessed with when I was a kid, so I loved it so much, man. You know, we went to different museums too. The Aeronautical Museum, I'm pretty sure that's not how it's called. The Museum of Space and Aeronautics and planes and stuff, you know, we went there as well. You know, that was also a very particularly good highlight. Pretty much every single day was spent, you know, going to different places, going downtown too. We ate at a few McDonald's also, because the McDonald's in New York felt better than in Florida. I don't know why or how, it just tasted better. Maybe it's because I don't know, there are more people there, so they want better service. I don't know, I just considered it to be a lot better, you know. The food there was pretty okay, but I barely remember because we pretty much only ate fast food. And when we were hanging out at my aunt's house, it's so bad because I was at the phase of my braces where I was wearing that mouth brace that you see the nerds, you know, getting bullied in school in those TV shows that you watch, you know. I was wearing that at home. I was not obsessed, but I was a very big fan of Spider-Man at the time, so I actually took my PS2 with the Spider-Man 2 game and also the Spider-Man DVD that I had. So there were moments when I was literally watching the Spider-Man movie on my aunt's TV and playing the game on another TV. It was freaking insane. But yeah, man. Oh, it just kept going on and on and on. We visited, when we went to Broadway at night, it was really cool. It felt so good to see that atmosphere there, because New York is a city that seems more alive at night than during the day. You know, the nightlife is very active, especially when you go downtown in Manhattan. It was really cool to have that exposure for the first time. And before I talk about more experiences, let's take a look at some more photos here, huh? You might not be able to tell just by looking at the photos that I was in, but when you're in New York, you know, around December when it's snowing, you have to really prepare yourself when it comes to clothing, you know. I was actually wearing several different layers of clothes underneath that big blue jacket that I had. I do believe I was wearing 2 different pairs of pants and very thick socks and thick boots, you know. And I also had a shirt and a sweater under that blue jacket, you know. I had my little beanie too to protect my entire face. I had pretty much a full face beanie, you know, to keep my entire neck and region here warm. It was insane, man. Same thing with my parents. My dad, I think, just wore one really big, thick coat, you know. He was a little bit more manly and gruff, you know. My mom put on like 5 different pairs of pants, you know, each one of them having to match with the other, you know, and like 4 different coats, all matching as well, scarves and that stuff, you know. But, you know, it was, I think my mom actually, she came back with more luggage than she took. I do believe she may have bought a few things. I don't remember that much, you know, but walking through town, you really start to notice how alive New York is as a city, because there's always something happening, you know. There's always people going somewhere. There wasn't one single moment that I can recall where everybody just stopped moving, you know. Everybody was constantly going somewhere. You pretty much, the only time that you would see somebody stopping somewhere is if they were like a hot dog vendor or somebody, you know, asking somebody else for the time, or maybe it's somebody stopping to take a photo or two. But in general, it's cars moving around, people walking to and fro. It's really crazy. And in terms of the more historical places in town, you know, there was a very heavy moment where we went to the site of the September 11th attacks, right? Who, at the time, it was still a memorial. It was in construction. You saw just the place there where the towers used to be, the 2 holes in the ground, and they were still working on building the memorial, which now became, you know, more buildings around the same area. But I saw the plaque with the thousands of people who had died that day. As a kid, you don't really appreciate it too much, but when you get older and you remember back to that moment, it's like, wow, I was actually there. You know, I was there where it happened. You know, we did take some photos there as well. You know, it was really, really heavy. And I do believe that the staple of the trip was when we went to... Okay, well, I'm going to talk about that later. First, let's talk about the Empire State Building. We actually went inside of it, but because it was Christmas time, you know, it was closed. We couldn't go up on top to get the view, but I went inside the Empire State Building, you know, in the lobby there. It was really nice. Around the same block, there was a historical church, a cathedral that we also went inside of. We pretty much went everywhere, and my mom took photos of everything. You know, she really documented this trip from a photographic angle, and it was nice, man. It was really nice, you know, to see a lot of the history of the city going into these places. I wish I could have gone up to the Empire State, but it didn't happen. We went to a park. I had a really good view of it. You know, we went to the Chrysler Building. I cannot recall for the life of me if we went to Central Park. I don't know if we actually went there, even though it's literally at the center of the city, but I don't recall. We may have gone to one or two parks. This was a long time ago, so, but I think the true highlight was when we went to the Statue of Liberty. However, we did not actually go onto Ellis Island where the statue is because it was closed due to Christmas. But we still saw it. Well, we were on the ferry and we saw it. I saw it there, so I think it counts, right? I can say that I saw the dang Statue of Liberty in person once in my life. Although, this is what sucks about going in Christmas time. You get the hustle and bustle and the atmosphere, the climate of Christmas time. It's nice, a winter wonderland with snow, but everything is closed. All of the actual real interesting tourist attractions are closed because of it, which doesn't make sense. Doesn't the city want to make more money around Christmas where more tourists will come and they will go to the places? I don't know, but still, I hope they've changed that in recent years, even though there is a lot more to see in New York nowadays. That's pretty crazy. You know, it's weird how New York now is so much more advanced than the time that I went, you know, compared to that, and yet it still feels so New Yorkian, right? I'm gonna show you guys a few more photos here so I can continue with a few more tidbits of info, or rather personal stuff. Rather than make this into, you know, an educational, informative video like I normally do, I want to turn it into a more personal experience, right? So it's almost like a concept vlog where I just come and talk with no editing, mixed with some historical, personal past. I don't know, man. I want to focus more on what I thought, my personal take on it, you know. And speaking of personal takes, it was the very first time in my life that I ever rode in one of those fancy yellow cabs that they had in New York, you know, which I'm pretty sure, I'm positive, do not exist anymore today. You know, everything is Uber and 99 and Lyft or Cabify or whatever. But it's really nice to have had that experience once, you know, because we got around town a lot, you know, with the taxi, especially in Broadway, where you saw a bunch of them just, you know, lumped together, you know, a lot of traffic. It was nice, man, you know, really had the experience that you saw in those early 2000s movies set in New York, because it seems like pretty much every single romantic comedy was set in New York in the aughts, like in the early to mid 2000s. Everything happened in New York, you know. I imagine people who lived there got sick of seeing all the movie producers making their films there. But me and my parents, they actually made friends with a guy who, I'm not entirely sure what his relationship was to my aunt, but I guess maybe they were neighbors or just co-workers or friends, you know. He actually became our tour guide, you know. He put us in his car and took us around town, you know, showing us, you know, the landmarks and explaining what this was. He was an immigrant, though. I'm not entirely sure what he was. I think he might have been Asian. He had a young little daughter who was just the cutest thing, you know. And it was really nice to see that. My aunt was dating an Asian as well. I think he was Mexican or something, you know, I don't know. She had a very spicy taste at the time, but, you know, New York had a lot of immigrants back then. So this guy, his name was, it's very strange because his name is Segundo, which if you translate that from Portuguese would be second, but it should be Asian. So I don't know, but I still appreciate him to this day for helping me and my folks out, you know. And there was also an experience that I had as well for the first time ever, which was the underground subway, which me and my parents and my aunt took many times throughout our days there, you know, going back and forth from station to station. Took a few photos in there too. I had a lot of fun. I had never gone onto an underground subway in my life, or I don't even think I've ever gone on any kind of train up until that point, you know. And it's different, man. It hits different because today, you know, the subways are a lot fancier and cleaner, you know, and then there's the bullet trains, you know, above ground. But back then, sitting in those very cozy and old style retro kind of seats in the subway felt so amazing. And of course, when I was a kid, I took it for granted, but it was still really cool to see that, you know. And also the entire time snow falling. We actually got snowfall at night. Me and my parents went out to see it, you know, and as the snow was coming down, I took some photos too. I actually grabbed a snowball with my dad that was like bigger than both of our hands. It was really big, you know. And contrary to popular belief, it's not very possible to have a snowball fight. I did try, you know. You try to bunch it up and it pretty much just breaks apart, you know. It's not like you see in the movies, but still. Didn't try to build a snowman, but I did make some snow angels. That was really fun too. It was nice, man. It was really nice, honestly. It was a very good experience that I still remember fondly even after all these years, you know, and all of these memories come flooding back. We went to, I think, a college campus too. We went to different neighborhoods to see the architecture. Everything about New York was really, really nice, whether it was in the daytime and at night. We went to the mall too, you know, you know, just to look around and walk and stuff. Funny story, I was actually grounded at the time that we went in December, so it was kind of ironic because my dad refused to take me to see a movie or buy me toys or you know, or anything of the sort because he was still kind of mad because I was grounded. But they did still buy me some really cool souvenirs, some of which I still have to this day. You guys might have noticed in the background of my videos here, over here, I actually do have, I'm going to show you, let me just back up a little bit here. Okay, I actually still have this souvenir from New York, this porcelain Statue of Liberty, you know, which is one of my most prized possessions to this day. A little withered, you know, it's not looking too good, you know, it's just, gotta clean it, get the dust off, you know, but it's nice, you know, you can see it's kind of broken here around the edge, but still, I like it, and I use it today as a background here for I was about to fall. I use it as a background for my scenario here and whatnot. I also have a few postcards and stuff, but those are just, you know, postcards, and this is a little bit more just out there for the world to... Why don't we take a look at some more photos here, huh? Because this is getting too awkward. By the way, all of these photos are not in any particular chronological order. I'm literally just mixing them up here to see what's more aesthetically pleasing. And I think I'm gonna end up showing you a few more than the first time I did the video, so that's already a bonus there for you guys. You know, if you're interested in watching me talk about my personal life and my trips and whatnot. And essentially, it was a very lukewarm experience for me, you know, as a Florida kid for most of my life, going to, you know, a place that has a very complete culture and atmosphere and even weather as Florida, you know, because Florida, at least back when I lived there, very rarely got too cold. Like, it was always bearable, especially because our houses had central heating systems, you know. So I can't really recall a very particularly cold day in Florida, you know, sometimes in the morning before going to school, but by the afternoon it was already blazing hot, you know, the tropical climate. So New York was different. It really hit different, you know. I liked it. I really, really enjoyed it so much. Going to all of these famous historical landmarks, you know, that I saw in movies and TV shows and even video games. So it was a very eye-opening experience for me as a kid growing up, you know, around American culture. And I loved every second of it. And there's nothing that I can say was negative, you know, nothing at all. I had a lot of fun. You know, I don't know if my parents did. They probably did too, but still, you know, and there were other places that I probably don't remember that we visited around there because we really did take advantage of every single minute. Every day we were out there. We did not stay at my aunt's house throughout the day, you know, like we woke up early, went out, you know, and came back late and slept and woke up the next day and did it again. So there was never a dull moment while we were in New York. So I'm even wearing a shirt that sort of, you know, relates to it. I'm wearing a shirt that says Bronx, which is I'm pretty sure this is Bronx, right? Which is a neighborhood in New York, you know, it's one of those places there, but I think this is a baseball shirt. Maybe it's a team from the Bronx, I don't know. But yeah, man. Yeah, I'm trying to remember other things here, but there's honestly nothing else, you know, like I'm sure there is, but the video is getting too long already. I've dived in very deep into my personal take on it. In a nutshell, I really, really love New York, and I wish I could go back again. It's been so long, you know, and just imagining how much the city has changed here, you know, has changed over the years and how it is now would be insane for me. You know, going to any place that I've gone to while I was in America today would be crazy because obviously as time goes on, you know, things change, people change, you know, times change. So it would be really cool to see that in a place like New York, which is pretty much considered to be like the heart of the country sometimes because it's so populous and so famous, right? But yes, I think that's it, guys. I think I'm gonna wrap this up here. Nothing else that I can say. I'm trying to remember, but oh no, yes, I do remember one more thing. I'm sorry. This is a very good place to wrap up here. We also went to, of course, Rockefeller Center, and because it was Christmas time, we saw that very big Christmas tree there at the center that we saw, and we see in movies like in Home Alone, for example. I saw the people skating, you know, around the ice there. It was really nice. I obviously couldn't go because I was a kid. My parents were going to allow me to do that, but it was really nice to see, you know, the Winter Wonderland theme there, the families together, you know, celebrating Christmas. It was really cool. Took some photos there too with my folks with the Christmas behind us. We also saw Macy's, you know, and the thing with Macy's is that it was very, very full around the holidays, you know, because people were going there to buy gifts for themselves or their family and loved ones, you know, their friends. So well, I think my mom went inside and bought some stuff. I don't remember if I did, you know. We may have gone to Trump Tower as well. We may have gone, no, I don't think it's called Trump Tower. Isn't it a hotel? Was a hotel? I don't know. I'm trying. I didn't want to look up any places here and bring them to the video because I'm pretty sure that they may have changed after more than 15 years, you know, so maybe it's a little bit outdated. It's been almost 20 years, not even 15. Bro, next year it's gonna be 20 years since I went to New York. God dang it. Oh my God. But yes, after Rockefeller, you know, can't remember anything else, you know, just random places, libraries, museums. We went to the National Library as well. Didn't go inside though, but I was out there, you know, with the statue of the lions. I thought it was really awesome as well. When I look through the photos to put into the video, I'll probably remember some more stuff, but this is pretty much it. Everything that you can imagine is a tourist attraction in New York me and my folks went to, and it was a lot of fun. You know, very fond memories of when I was a kid visiting a place that I instantly fell in love with. I will definitely live there today if I was like a filthy rich millionaire. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments what you thought about this video, if you enjoyed this format, because I have gone to other places that I can also talk about here, you know. It's gonna be really cool to give you guys some photos and stuff, you know, and show you how it was growing up, you know, in America. But yes, that's it for now. And if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too so you can know exactly what time I upload. And it's all good. Let me know in the comments the trips that you've gone to, you know, places you visited. Let's have a little debate down there talking about traveling. And this is Chazzy signing out for now. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.